Hello and welcome back to my channel. As you can probably tell by the title, today's video is yet another testing video. Today I will be giving you first impressions on a Huda Beauty nude palette dupe. It costs £50 less than the original. You heard that right, 50, and I personally paid even less, but we will get into that. If you would like to find out whether the Technic invite-only palette is worth your money, then just keep on watching. So I actually was in Boyce's. I don't know if you know the store. I know it's not all over the UK, but I went to Boyce's and I saw this palette and I thought, wow, this really reminds me of one of my all-time favourite palettes, the Socialite palette by W7. I did a review on this and I do love it. It's like a perfect everyday palette. But then I remembered, oh wait, the Socialite palette is already a dupe of the Huda Beauty nude palette. This palette costs £50 less than the Huda Beauty nude palette. Huda Beauty on Cult Beauty costs £59. This on the Technic website costs £6. I actually paid £3.50, but I'm going to treat it as if I paid £6 because it's fair. Okay, let me zoom you in. Let's get started. Before I put these on, I must say these almost look identical. Like this corner shade right here and this corner shade right here, they look exactly the same in the pan. I'm actually going to swatch them. Even if there is like the tiniest bit of difference, I can barely see it, and I'm sure you won't be able to see it on the eyes. So that's already a negative, that this palette, this 15 pan palette, has a lot of shades that repeat. Like even these two, you know what? Let's swatch them as well. I can't see the difference when I swatch it. Which one's which? I have no idea. But when I had it on my fingers, one is a little bit, like a hair bit lighter. Other than that, they are almost identical. They swatch really nicely, I must say. So that makes me quite excited for this palette. I am going to prime my lids as I always do, and I'm using my Collection Lasting Perfection concealer as always. This never lets me down. It is perfect as a base. I can start with whatever because they look pretty much the same. I'm going to pick up this brown in the middle. It's on the last row in the very center. Picks up quite nice on a brush. I'm gonna start from my outer corner. Ooh, okay, I have to dip in one more time because all the pigment from that is on the brush. There's quite a lot of kickback in the pan. They are quite lightly pressed and they seem very smooth. Like when I swatched them, they were very like airy. And it's a very reddish brown. I don't mind it. It looks pretty nice actually. I like it. It builds quite nicely. It's not like crazy pigmented, but it's not that bad. Sometimes you're actually better off having a very lightly pigmented shadow and you're able to build it, rather than like a super pigmented eyeshadow that you can't blend out. I've dipped into that shade for the third time and just building that outer corner there. I'm just making a very basic smoky eye, I think. To be fair, this is a look by itself. It looks quite nice actually. Okay, I'm going to take one of the lighter shades. In fact, I'm going to take that lightest shade and I'm just going to blend out the edges. Just seeing how pigmented this is. They are very, very smooth. Like the texture of these, quite nice. I do wish there was a darker shade in there. I'm going to take what I believe is a little bit darker than what I had, and there's this brown. Again, a lot of kickback, but I mean, I don't mind that. I always do my eyes first anyway, so even if there's fallout, it should be okay. Yeah, it's just the tiniest little bit darker than the previous shade, but not much. Like once it's blended out, it looks like one shade. If I wanted to make it any darker, I think I would have to dip into that purple there, but I don't want to. So that's a shame, but that's probably the issue that I have with Socialite as well. The same thing happens there, and I can only assume that it's the same issue with Huda Beauty Nude palette as well. The palette is very soft. As you can see, I can barely add any more like dimension to the look. I would want something a little bit smokier closer to the lash line. I think I'm going to have to use a pencil for that. I guess it's time to try those foily shades, or maybe even the glitters. We shall see. Again, this bronze and this gold look very, very similar in the pan. The texture of them is very, very nice. Very similar, guys. The texture of the shimmers is spot on. They seem to be really, really nice. I'm going to try and pick them up on a brush. I'm going to pick up the darker rose gold pink. Seems to have picked up on the brush. Let's see. I'm going to place this in the center. It is going on. It's a little bit harder to like press in, but it is going on. Okay, I am going to use my finger. I do prefer to use a finger for shimmers, and I think the warmth of my finger will actually make it nice and smooth. Oh yeah, look at that. That's pretty. And now let's see the gold. I'm gonna stick with a brush this time because my finger is not gonna fit in this portion that well. It's quite nice. I like that. But as you can see, there's not a lot of dimension in this look. I'm taking that fluffy brush and I'm just finishing this portion here just to like blend it in. I purposely like left it a little bit lighter. I don't know, I'm just feeling a different type of look today. Okay, the lid, the shimmers look fantastic. They genuinely look wet, but other than that, there's not much else I could do, because this is like a slight shimmer as well. Okay, let's play with the glitter. We all know how these work. Do I want a glitter on my eye? I really don't, but oh, look at it. Okay, I'm putting glitter on today. I'm going to get a brown liner and line my top lash line. And I'm actually going to smoke this out. Just blending this in so it's like actually smoky. Yeah, a tiny little bit more definition, which is kind of nice. I do want to take the lighter glitter, and I am going to see if it's going to stick to my lid without a glitter primer. Most of it stays on my finger. I'm going to take Revolution glitter glue and try that instead. It just, no, why, no. I knew it. It ruined my whole look. Look how beautiful it looks on the finger, but it just doesn't want to stick to the lid. I think that glitter was a mistake, if I'm being honest. It kind of ruined the look a little bit. It's not as good. It doesn't want to stick to the lid. It's beautiful on the finger. Because it's not as dark as I would want it to be, I'm going to take the Revolution Renaissance Flick and I'm going to give myself a wing liner. Okay, let me do the other eye off camera and I will be right back. I've decided to leave this eye without the glitter to show you that it's actually a pretty nice eye look without the glitter. The glitter just ruined it. Okay, I'm going to whiz through my base real quick and then we'll come back to the eyes. For my foundation today, I'm using Collection Lasting Perfection Weightless Foundation. To cream bronze, I'm taking Revolution Fast Base Foundation in F14. For my under eye concealer, I'm just taking the same concealer I used as my eyeshadow base, and it is the Collection Lasting Perfection, and I have the shade Porcelain number 2. And to set, I'm using our CMA No Colour Powder. I have like this browny, mauvey, reddish toned brown on my lids. So for my blush, I'm taking a pink from a Sugar and Spice palette. And for my highlight today, I'm taking my new fave. This is Revolution Highlighter Reloaded, just my type. To finish off my eyes, I'm taking the brown in the middle right there. And I think I'm going to place this all over my lower lash line. I'm just making this a little smoky. The eyeshadow doesn't really want to stick to my powdered lowered lid. It's not as intense. I'm going to tap it instead and let's see. Will it stick a little bit better? I mean, it builds, so that's not bad. Let me just elongate that inner tear duct. OMG. I have creased and my eyeshadow is destroyed on this side. Can you see that? You might not be able to because of the glitter, but I have creased here as well. The eyeshadow has creased. So I'm thinking for this eye, it's because of the glitter primer, but on this eye, it's the shimmer eyeshadow. I don't even want to finish this makeup off because it's a fail, complete fail. Like this eye, from far away, it looks fine, but it is separating. Those creamy shimmers are too creamy. You know what, guys? I'm not even gonna finish this. Okay, you guys, so here it is. Hopefully you'll be able to see how much that glitter glue combined with the shimmers from this palette just separated on my lid so much. Like I said previously, this makeup look right here with just the shimmers, I actually don't mind that much. The palette is a complete miss for me, even though the shimmers are really nice. As we can see, on this eye, I have started creasing. They are way too creamy and the mattes are just so similar. Even though this seems like it would be a good palette for like an everyday look, really isn't, purely because, like I said, you basically have a palette with like 5 shades. For £6, if you're on a budget, if you're really desperate for an everyday palette, fair enough. They do blend nicely, which is the only plus, and they do look beautiful. The shimmers do look beautiful when you apply it on the lid with a finger, but they do crease. I would much rather recommend the W7 Socialite palette to you guys. Invite Only by Technic is a complete pass. It is £6, but it's not even worth the £6 if I'm being completely honest. Sorry to disappoint, but I hope you have found this review useful. I'm sorry I wasn't able to come up with a nice look. The most annoying thing is my base looks really nice, and I'm so going to wear this like combo of colors, and like, I don't know, just today my base looks really nice, which is a shame. I wish I could take some pictures, but my makeup is a mess. Anyway, as always, I hope you have enjoyed that. I hope you found it useful. If you did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. You are the best, and I hope to see you next time.